It's time for SC250 Tuesday, bringing you information about Chesterfield County, the Pigg region, and South Carolina's role in the American Revolution. Our guest today is former Cheraw Town Councilman and Mayor and co-chairman of the Chesterfield County Bicentennial Committee, Howard Duvall. Welcome, Howard.
Good morning, Jane. Glad to be with you in Chesterfield County.
Well, tell us about the Bicentennial.
Well, Jane, I told you that was a long time ago for me, and what we'll talk about this morning may or may not be connected with the Bicentennial, but it's connected with celebrating history in Chesterfield County. And if I get it mixed up with the Tricentennial, which was in 1970, celebrating 300 years of South Carolina's founding, and the Bicentennial celebrating 200 years of the nation's the U.S. founding, it's just because I'm getting old.
Well, and also South Carolina is old for a state, and we have so much history here.
That's right, and I think we'll start with 1970 when we were celebrating the Tricentennial, because it was the celebration of the forming of the state of South Carolina that got people thinking about history and preserving our history. And one of the key things that I think was connected with the Bicentennial is the restoration of the historic church, Old St. David's in Cheraw. St. David's was formed in 1768, and from that church, it survived the Revolutionary War and the Civil War, and it became in disrepair after the Episcopal Church moved its main church to Market Street. So by the time we got there in the 1970s, it needed some work done on it, and I think that was pushed by the upcoming Bicentennial event. The expert on that was Sarah Skrull. She and I were co-chairs of the restoration project. When we started that project, we hoped to have it ready by the Bicentennial, and I'm not exactly sure what date we actually opened it up, but it was close to the Bicentennial date. So we started thinking about the history of Cheraw, the most prominent building being Old St. David's there, and protecting our buildings for the future. I thought it was going to be probably a year project, a 2-year project. In those days, it was around $100,000 we needed, which was big money in those days. But they just finished one with over $300,000 to fix it up again. So it's an important building because of the number of years it was there in Cheraw. And you and I talked about the celebrations. I think it was the Tricentennial that got Cheraw thinking about putting together a permanent spring holiday. I remember a meeting we had over at First Citizens Bank with Mr. Rogers, and he had steam engines. And he came to the meeting, and he had historic records going back many years of the weather in Cheraw, and his data showed that the second weekend in April was the best time to have a festival in Cheraw. And it actually was called the Steam Up for a number of years, and I think that was the foundation that's now the Cheraw Spring Festival that's been so successful for a number of years now. But people in Cheraw like their history, and once we got Old St. David's restored to the period of about 1723, I believe it was, and opened it up, and people saw what a historic restoration could do for a very prominent building. We then formed a committee to work on all of the historic buildings that were owned by the city of Cheraw. And you had the market hall across the street that went through a restoration. You had the town hall, that was restored, and you had the police station that was restored, and those restorations prompted private people to fix up their own properties. Another one that was important was the B.C. Moore building at the end of Market Street. It was fixed up for a while. It might need a little bit of repair now, but for a number of years it was very prominent when you were coming through Cheraw. So we do celebrate the bicentennial, and Cheraw has a prominent place as being one of the 4 oldest cities in South Carolina, because it was where the river became, you got to the rocks in the river and couldn't go any higher. So the people pushing inland from the coast, you had Cheraw on the Pigg River, you had Camden on the Wateree River, you had Columbia on the Congaree River, and you had Augusta and North Augusta on the Savannah River. Those are the 4 oldest communities in South Carolina inland, and it's because of the rivers being used to navigate. I can't remember who was the other chairman of the bicentennial committee.
It sounds like Cheraw led the PD in historic restoration.
Well, we were kind of in competition with Camden. As a matter of fact, I don't want to get into all of that, but Camden has done a great job in restoring stuff, and Hope Boykin down there was a leader in historic restoration, the Cornwallis House and others they still are very big in promoting the history of the Battle of Camden, which was important during the Revolutionary War. But Cheraw has always been a leader in the PD area. On whatever topic you want to talk about, I can point to leadership coming out of the town of Cheraw.
Well, it sounds like Cheraw has definitely been a leader in the PD. And Howard, how important is it for us to share this information and share it with the younger generations?
I think it's very important. I talk to my family about it all the time, the importance of remembering your roots, remembering how you got there. We have just in the last few weeks donated to the Caroliniana Library all of the journals out of the Cheraw Hardware. We had journals going back to 1893 when my great-granddaddy formed the Cheraw Hardware, and they were just tickled to death to get hold of them. And the Caroliniana Library is a very good deposit place for people that have historic documents that want to donate them so that they can be preserved and made available for research.
Well, it sounds like Cheraw has even more history than I had imagined. And we have been talking with former Cheraw Town Councilman and Mayor Howard Duvall. This has been our SC250 Tuesday, bringing you information about Chesterfield County, the Pigg region, and South Carolina's role in the American Revolution. It's been brought to you by SC250.